Hey there, everybody. Don Evans here from Watchreport.com. Hope you guys are doing well. I know myself today that I feel like it's summer. It's actually 50 degrees here in the Northeast. A lot of the heavy snow is melting. The ground is actually dry on the pavements and the sidewalk and the roads. And I don't know, I feel lively today because we've just been getting hit snowstorm after snowstorm after snowstorm. So today just feels amazing. But anyways, let's move on to this review, and I'm excited for multiple reasons today because I get to show you this watch. And doing research for this watch, there's not a lot of information outside of the website for this piece. And that's really a shame. Hopefully, after this video is seen, more people will be aware of this brand. This is the Cronus Prototype 3. Now, it's not a prototype. I'll get into that here in a second. This is an actual production piece. Now, this one is the black PVD. There's only 50 pieces, and the only way you can get the black PVD is with this black dial. There are other variations. Of course, I'll have all the links down on the website below. But let's go ahead and talk a little bit about this brand and this watch and how it started and maybe why you've never really heard of it. So the best that I can tell is this watch, this brand is just not marketed that much, at least especially not here in the United States, or at least in North America. And I've actually been following the brand for a few years, and recently, as of late last year, I reached out to him, and he finally agreed to send a watch for review, and I chose this one because he had recently posted it on a Facebook page, and I was just like, man, that all black with that tan leather strap, that is just beautiful. So what you're looking at here is you have a very, dare I say it, masculine design, very industrial design. Now, this is a German-made piece. It is stamped made in Germany. You do have a Swiss movement. In this case, it is the Swiss ETA 2824. Let me go ahead. I'll give you all the specifications here. You're looking at a 43 millimeter stainless steel case, but the important part is that is without that large crown and crown guard. That is a 9 millimeter crown, and the crown guards are very large as well. With those crown guards measured from 9 to 3, you're looking at 48 millimeters. This is not a 48 millimeter watch, but that dimension, that measurement there is 48 millimeters. You do have a screw down crown, of course, because this is 600 meters water resistant and a screw down case back. You're looking at a weight of the case head 125 grams, so it is pretty hefty. 15 millimeters thick, 24 millimeter lug width. Your lug to lug at the tip to tip of those lugs is 56 millimeters. So it is a very long case. I'm going to say wears more like 54 millimeters in length, but because they downturn a little. And again, I'm measuring at the very edge of the tip all the ways to the other tip of the case. So that's where that 56 millimeter measurement comes in. As I said, you're looking at a 28-24 automatic movement. Now, to be fair here, this is, as far as I know, a standard ETA 2824. It is not top. It is not elaborate. Now, it doesn't say on the site. I've sent an email to the owner, Juri, trying to get some information about that. But unfortunately, I haven't heard back from him just yet. And I have a lot of watches to review, and this one is next, and I need to get these going. So I'll update that depending on when I hear back from them. If it's after I actually upload and make this live, then I'll have a link. I'll have something in the description, or I'll put a pinned comment down in the comment section. But this watch, well, this brand, I should say, actually started all the ways back in 2010. Now, the original prototype watch and the original prototype 2 is a very, very different watch than this prototype 3. And I don't want to talk about that watch because I don't have that in hand and have not actually seen that watch in person. But this one, but it's important to talk about it only in the sense of how we got here. That's a very different watch. Now it has a similar, very similar case shape. It's basically the same case shape. It's a much larger watch. It has a patented locking crown system. It doesn't have the dive bezel. So it's a different style of watch. The crown guard and the crown locking system is much larger. So altogether, you know, it's a different style and feel of watch compared to this one. But that started all the ways back in 2010. The first prototype was made somewhere between, I think, 2010 and 2012. The prototype was redone, and then you had prototype 2, which is the one that you can currently actually buy. And that, I think, was done in 2014. So flash forward here to now 2021. And it seems like now you're able to find the website a little more, purchase them a little easier. There's a lot of these Prototype 3 models available. So let's talk about the name Prototype. Why are they all called prototypes? Well, Juri said basically that he liked naming it Prototype when he was designing it and kind of just left it. So now they're just all numbered versions of Prototype, and I guess that's the way he's going to continue to go with it. It is interesting from a marketing perspective, though. If somebody just sees it's a prototype, they automatically think it's not ready or available. Obviously, if you're watching this video, now you know that they are available and ready to go, and they're not actual prototypes. That's just a name. I just wonder, though, if he makes a prototype of one that he's going to put into production, is that called the prototype? Anyways, I digress. So this watch is a little different than watches that, you know what, I'm all over the map these days when it comes to what I like to wear personally. I've been looking at vintage style pieces and big eye chronographs from Longines and stuff, and I don't know, I'm looking at all different types of things, but I've been wearing slightly smaller watches these days than I've worn in the past. But I gotta tell you, the second that this watch arrived, it was like, it doesn't matter that it's larger and chunkier than I normally like to wear. I just love it. I love the look of it. I love the case shape. I love the dial. For the most part, I pretty much love everything about this piece. Uh, I want to make sure I really highlight this. The crown action on this watch is just phenomenal. There's no other way to describe it. It is absolutely phenomenal. It is so smooth. It feels like it's spring loaded or like it's on ball bearings. Easily some of the best crown action best crown I think I've ever had. Maybe there's another one and I just can't remember it, and this is more in the forefront of my memory, but it is absolutely stellar. That's probably the best way to describe it. As you can see, the crown guards are screwed on. You do have screws and drilled lugs here for your strap changing. So you have all of that available. It is 120 click unidirectional bezel. Now I will say the bezel's really easy to grip. No issues there whatsoever. Turns nice. There is a little bit of play in my model in this version that I have. So the bezel, in my opinion, not perfect. Another thing that's not really perfect is that this is a dual coated AR crystal, which means you got, AR coating on the inside and the outside. Now that, for me personally, is just not something that I like. I prefer it always just underside only, because you have a sapphire crystal, which for the most part is, really scratch resistant, but then you put a coating on it and that coating can get scratched, which of course makes it look like your crystal has been scratched, but it hasn't. It's difficult to get the coating removed. Not a lot of guys will do it. And I actually had one done, and it wasn't done very well. I'll just leave it at that. And it kind of messed up the crystal, and I had to get a new crystal. And well, that's a story for another day. But sometimes it's just not about the sum of its parts with this watch. Now, another thing that I'm going to mention, because you're going to see it here on video easily, is that hour hand. That hour hand got scratched in assembly. So, and it wasn't checked, obviously, before it got sent out to me. That's unfortunate. Now, that's an easy fix. Well, so it's not a big deal. Hopefully, as a customer, you wouldn't have that issue. Now, speaking of ordering, the ordering process is a little different. The ordering process, it's not an e-commerce website. So you actually have to contact Juri through the website and tell them which watch you want to order. There's also some customization that you could do. These watches are made in Germany, so the case is made in Germany. Obviously, it's a Swiss movement, and then he assembles them in Germany. So it's not fully, 100% German or fully completely, and he is not machining the cases. He made that very clear. He does not machine these cases. They are done by a manufacturer, but they are done in Germany. Of course, some other things are outsourced, just like you would expect. Now, the price on these, I haven't mentioned the price. My bad. I should have mentioned it right at the beginning of the video. You're looking about $1,500. That is conversion from euro. So about $1,500 is what you're looking at. Now, they pretty much all come on a brown leather strap. I believe they all come on some version of a brown leather strap. This is a buffalo leather strap. It's about 5 millimeters thick. My only problem with it is this is a pretty large watch and the strap is short. As a matter of fact, I'm in the very last hole on this strap. And because of that, it just fits me. As a matter of fact, I can't use the second keeper because there's just not enough room left over. Now, there are some extra holes or room for extra holes on the strap, but it's not going to help me because it is where I am anyway. Obviously, if you had a smaller wrist, a couple extra holes, a larger wrist, a couple extra holes would kind of help, but there's not enough strap left over there anyway, so it really wouldn't matter. I just find it funny that on a watch this large and, this is not the largest watch out there by any means or anything like that. But, this is a bigger watch. You would imagine that you would have a longer strap, at least a strap that could fit up to an 8-inch wrist. But, if you have a large wrist and you really like this watch and you want to order one, ask about a longer strap before you do so. Otherwise, you're going to have to put your own strap on this piece. I really, really like the dial on this. I really just, everything about this piece, when you take a look all around, this is just that, it's that German piece. Kind of reminds me of vintage VDB. It's not like a copy or anything like that, of course, but it has that same flair. They're a German brand as well. And I have an affinity for watches from Germany in general. So it's just, take a look always around this watch. To me, it's fantastic. But I want to hear from you guys. Come on, keep this interactive. Let me know what you think about it down below in the comments. What is your opinion of this piece? And take a look, like I said, if black PVD is not your thing, take a look over at the Cronus website. And you can, take a look at the other versions of the models, the stainless steel or the blasted models, also with different dial colors and everything. There's some aged steel models as well. The price fluctuates depending on the type of case that you pick. But let me know which one's your favorite or if you like this one as well. Lume on it, when you see those huge markers filled with all those layers of Lume paint, the Lume is going to be good. It is Super Lumina, Super Luminova, Super Lumina. That's like an old Chevy van from like the 90s. A Super Luminova C3 is used here. As you can see, it glows fantastic. And this is a piece that I think even more so that about good 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, I really, really like it now. I probably would have blown a gasket over it years ago. But it's just how taste change or what you get used to wearing. But I have to say, I've really enjoyed wearing this piece. The only thing is, like I said, that strap just fits me, and I don't really have, a 7.5-inch wrist is not a large wrist. So I think that longer straps should be supplied for sure. Obviously, the strap, you could just see it's a very, very nice handmade strap. It is very, very pliable and comfortable. No issues there. And as I said, I mentioned a couple of issues that I do have with this particular piece, but otherwise, I have to say overall, hit it out of the park with this piece. By the way, I just want to mention that, it has that little arrow and the lock, and no, it does not actually lock. I think that was just Juri's way of, this is the direction to, turn the crown and close it when you're screwing it down. It doesn't actually lock, of course, into place, but as I said, crown action on this, the crown action on this is almost worth the price of admission alone. It is fantastic. But as I said, I want to hear from you guys. What do you think of this piece? I really, really enjoy it. If you want to see more of my thoughts and comments on this, go ahead and get down into the description. The link to watchreport.com will be there. More of my thoughts and comments, a little more backstory on this brand, and a lot of pictures, of course, as well. I really like this piece. I'm glad to be able to bring it to you guys. I'm not sure why more reviewers out there haven't gotten a hold of one of these. Hopefully they do. Hopefully we could put more of a spotlight on the Cronus brand. I think they deserve it. Juri is doing a great job with these pieces. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you on the next one.